All right, so welcome back, lifelong learners. So today we're going to be talking about the new YongNuo camera. And the new YongNuo camera is a cell phone Frankenstein with a micro four thirds mount, a micro four thirds sensor, and has a Canon adapter for its lens. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see this Frankenstein thing for like $500 in the near future. Now, at first I thought that Tony and Chelsea were just like, talking goofy stuff about a full frame camera that's going to come out, or hopefully Canon would make this full frame camera that's $500 and is going to be working like a cell phone, and it'll mount Canon lenses. So I'm pretty sure they got that idea from YongNuo when they announced this camera, I guess as a concept at first, and now they're actually going to produce this camera. So I just want to talk about the business sense that YongNuo has. I mean, they first started with flashes, and then they started making wannabe Canon spiffy 50 fantastic plastic lens, and now they're creating their own little market for a camera that is Android based, which is, I think it's pretty genius. Because if you think about it, first of all, these young people nowadays, they don't want to push all these buttons on cameras and stuff like that. I mean, they're used to the smartphone and how they take pictures with their smartphone and zoom with their smartphone and changing settings on their smartphone. And so I think that that is a very smart marketing strategy to get these younger people who may be interested in photography not get lost in all the button pushing and the dial turning and all that, but just the swipiness of it all on a smartphone type of OS. The second thing that I think is very smart is that they're utilizing this to maybe help sell their lenses. Now, their lenses are not going to be as good as Canon's lenses, but the fact that you can adapt EF lenses that are going to be selling for cheaper, because now that the RF lenses that are coming out are going to be way more expensive, so people are going to buy used lenses to put on this camera body, this smartphone camera body. And on top of that, they're making these lenses already, so you could capitalize on all the people who have Canon lenses. So I think it's very genius of them to do this. Now, they're going to release it first in China based on an interview that I watched with Cinema 5D. I'm actually interested in testing it out because as a teacher, I want to utilize the tools that my students are familiar with. I don't want to go and have to reteach them everything that is, more professional because there's so many more buttons to push. They can start off with a $500 camera and then work their way up from there. So I'm already starting off with my students recording with their phone and cheap tripods and whatnot. So why not start with this camera? Yeah, I just want to take my hat off, and YongNuo's putting it down the right way. I think it's very smart marketing strategy to have something that's familiar to the young people nowadays and then capitalize or even cannibalize the Canon market. So if Canon doesn't come out with a full frame version, I think that YongNuo is going to do well with selling this to the people who are interested in photography and maybe not want to deal with all the button pushing and changing of the aperture and all that stuff, where they can just do it in camera. I mean, on technically their phone. So very smart marketing strategy. Well, anyways, I want to know what you guys think of this. Am I just talking nonsense, or is Tony and Chelsea talking nonsense? Or we actually have something that's substantial, that is actually good? So yeah, leave it in the comments down below. I want to know what you think. Is this going to flop or is this going to fly? I personally think it's going to fly, but I want to know what you think. Anyways, I want to say goodbye with do it with me. You already know the deal. Rock, paper, peace. Let's hang out again in the next video.